They're on TV, they're on your favorite podcast, they've got best-selling books, massive audiences, and they dish out one-size-fits-all financial advice like it's gospel truth. But what if they're wrong? What if following their advice is setting you up for financial disaster? Today we're exposing three of the biggest names in personal finance: Dave Ramsey, Suze Orman, and Ken Fisher. These are some of the most recognized gurus in the world, and yet their paint-by-the-numbers advice is dangerously outdated, oversimplified, or just flat out wrong for anyone trying to protect their retirement savings and make sure their money lasts as long as they do. This is the Financial Guru Hall of Shame. Hey folks, I'm David McKnight, best-selling author of The Power of Zero. If you're trying to wring the most efficiency out of your retirement savings, then you need advice that's backed by math, not sound bites. Let's dig into the worst offenders, starting with the king of black and white, one-size-fits-all advice, Dave Ramsey. Now, before I say anything else, let me be clear. Dave Ramsey has helped a lot of people get out of debt. I'll give him credit for that. If you're making 50 but spending 60, he's precisely the person you should be talking to right about now. But when it comes to retirement planning, distribution strategies, or tax mitigation, his advice falls completely apart. Take this gem. Dave says that 100% of cash value life insurance sucks 100% of the time. Let me say that again, 100%. Folks, if anyone ever gives you advice that claims to apply 100% of the time, run the other way. There is no financial strategy that works for everyone all the time. In reality, permanent life insurance, especially indexed universal life, can play a critical role in a well-structured, tax-free retirement plan. Don't believe me? Well, check out the most recent study from world-renowned CPA firm Ernst Young. They concluded that by contributing 30% of your retirement savings to an IUL, you'll dramatically increase your income in retirement over stock market investing alone. How is this possible, you must be asking yourself, particularly since Dave Ramsey and his other co-hosts have staked out such scorched earth anti-life insurance positions over the years? Well, here's what Ernst Young understands that Dave Ramsey and other financial gurus don't. If you can save 3 to 5 years worth of living expenses in your IUL by day one of retirement, and then in the year following a down year in your stock market portfolio, pay for your living expenses out of your IUL, you'll give your investments a chance to recover before you take further distributions. This shields you from sequence of returns risk and can increase the sustainable withdrawal rate on your stock portfolio from 4% to as high as 8%, with a 95% likelihood your money will last as long as you do. Additionally, the IUL can be used to pay for long-term care, protect against market volatility, act as a bond alternative, and pass tax-free to your heirs. But Ramsey conveniently ignores all of that. And don't get me started on Roth conversions. Ramsey warns people against converting unless they can pay the tax bill out of pocket in cash. Sounds noble, right? But here's the reality. Most Americans don't have thousands of dollars lying around in a savings account just to pay the taxes on a Roth conversion. If you wait until you have the cash, it may be too late. Sometimes paying the tax from the IRA itself is the only practical way to get the job done before tax rates go up for good. And that's still a better option than leaving all your money exposed to the tax freight train that's bearing down on us by 2035. Just remember, if you're going to have the IRS withhold the tax from the conversion itself, you have to be at least 59.5 to do so without a penalty. Bottom line, Dave Ramsey gives basic advice for people with basic problems. But if you've worked hard, saved well, and want to shield your retirement from higher taxes, his advice isn't just unhelpful, it's potentially catastrophic. It could possibly force you to run out of money years in advance of when you ever thought possible. All right, next up in our Hall of Shame, Suze Orman. Suze recently told her followers to keep between 3 and 5 years worth of living expenses in an emergency fund in retirement. Let's think about that. If you spend $60,000 a year in retirement, she wants you to keep as much as $300,000 sitting in the savings account, earning 0 point nothing. In a world where inflation is eating away at your purchasing power, Suze's advice guarantees that you will lose money over time. Now, to be clear, what Suze is trying to safeguard against is sequence of returns risk. If the stock market goes down big time in the first 10 years of your retirement, it could take 3 to 5 years for your portfolio to get back to where it started. Anything you can do to avoid taking major withdrawals from your stock accounts while they're down will extend the life of your investments. Suze gets this, for which she is to be commended. The issue I have with Suze is this. The one account that could do a far better job in this volatility buffer type role, Index Universal Life, is something that she categorically rejects. Instead of holding $300,000 in an account that's earning next to nothing, hold those dollars in an IUL where your money is growing between 5 and 7% net of fees over time, with a guarantee that you'll never lose money in the stock market. As I mentioned earlier, this act alone can double your sustainable withdrawal rate from 4 to as high as 8%. Oh, and by the way, that IUL grows tax-free, offers long-term care benefits, and passes tax-free to heirs. That's a whole lot better than cash sitting in a bank account getting destroyed by inflation. Now, let's talk about Ken Fisher. You've probably seen the ads where in huge font you read, "I hate annuities," and you should too. Or, "I'd rather die and go to hell than sell you an annuity." Those are Ken Fisher's taglines. It's aggressive, it's bold, and it's dead wrong. Over the years, Fisher has become the face of the anti-annuity crusade. The problem is when he's bashing annuities, he's primarily referring to variable annuities, which I agree can be expensive and problematic. But what about fixed index annuities? These are a totally different animal. They're designed to give you growth linked to the market, up to a cap, and 0% in down years. You don't lose money when the market crashes. That's not a stock market alternative, it's a bond alternative. And in today's low yield, high volatility environment, replacing bonds with fixed index annuities can increase your returns, lower your risk, and give you a better outcome over time. Plus, FIAs can provide guaranteed lifetime income you can never outlive. And no, your money doesn't vanish if you die. Beneficiaries still get what's left. Fisher never tells you any of that. He paints annuities as some sort of a trap. But the real trap is relying on a stock-heavy portfolio with no plan for sequence of returns risk, no income guarantees, and no protection from market crashes in the early years of retirement when it matters most. Here's the deal. When you hear a financial guru say, "I hate annuities," or 100% of life insurance sucks 100% of the time, or "never pay taxes from your IRA," what they're really saying is this: I don't have the time or interest to explain nuance, so I'm just going to give you black and white, one-size-fits-all, paint-by-the-numbers advice. That might make for a great soundbite, but it's terrible financial advice. In the end, financial planning is personal, it's nuanced, and it has to be customized to your goals, your risk tolerance, and the future tax environment we're heading into. So if you're watching this video and wondering whether Dave, Suze, or Ken is right for you, I'll make it simple. If you're broke and need discipline, maybe Dave Ramsey makes sense for now. If you want general one-size-fits-all retirement advice, Suze Orman is your lady. And if you want to roll the dice with a pure investment portfolio and no volatility buffers or guaranteed lifetime income in retirement, by all means, follow Ken Fisher. But if you want a retirement that's tax-free, inflation-resistant, and built to weather market volatility, then it's time to graduate from the Financial Guru Club and avail yourself of the full financial toolbox. By the way, in my most recent book, The Guru Gap, I take a deep dive into the flawed logic, half-truths, and outright myths pushed by some of the most popular financial personalities in the world, including Dave Ramsey, Suze Orman, and Ken Fisher. I break down exactly where their advice falls short, why it often applies only to the financially undisciplined masses, and most importantly, how you can avoid falling into the trap of one-size-fits-all financial guidance. If you've ever felt like something didn't add up in what you were hearing from these gurus, you were right. The Guru Gap gives you the full story, with the math, the context, and the strategies they conveniently leave out. It's time to bridge the gap between financial sound bites from the gurus and actual retirement planning that works. You can pick up your copy on Amazon or wherever you buy books. If you'd like help implementing a balanced, comprehensive approach to tax-free retirement, head over to davemcknight.com and click on Connect with an Advisor. I'm happy to refer you to a financial advisor in my network who has been trained, vetted, and qualified personally by me. If you're a financial advisor and want to learn how to become a certified Power Zero advisor, head over to powerzero.com and opt into my free 3-part video series. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a video. This is Dave McKnight. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.